Hey guys, and welcome to episode 11 of the Blockchain Bandits podcast. You're here with me, Jeff,
Myself, Courtney.
and no Andy today because
No.
Andy has left us to go on a ski trip, of all things. Yeah, we had this Blockchain Bandits podcast planned, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy just says, "Oh yeah, I'm going on a ski trip with work, and I'm gonna have fun." And you guys just gonna be stuck in rainy England doing the boring podcast. Well, you know what, Andy? It's not boring, okay? It's fun. We love it. Enjoy your time in having skiing or whatever. You can't even ski. You can't even ski, Andy. What are you doing?
Now, personally, I want him to have a good time.
No,
Andy.
I hope he gets injured.
Come on, Andy, break a leg in a good way. Not really.
In a bad way.
Just break a leg. Go for it. Good luck with everything you're doing out there. Enjoy it. Yeah, I can see it all over Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been posting all over
Enjoy
Instagram, the lovely snowy hills. Yeah, whatever, Andy. Just, we might not even have Andy back. We might not even have him back.
We should get someone else.
Yeah,
Carlton Banks. I'm pretty sure that guy is looking for work. So we can get him over. I think, Andy, enjoy yourself. Don't come back. And I think we should just turn this into something a bit more positive, though. We're gonna make this a special, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, this is a special episode actually. Yeah, Courtney's right, because this episode we're gonna be focusing on one topic, and that topic is the recent crash. Because we thought it was a very rich topic. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things that kind of spring off of just that topic. But yeah, in case you've been living under a rock or you just don't pay attention to the cryptocurrency markets, there's been a recent crash in inverted commas. It happens around this time of year every year. Well, not every year, but the past 3 years, and it's happened again. Prices dip down, and everybody starts panicking. All the people that doubt cryptocurrency come out of their shells and start saying, "Oh, I told you it was gonna crash," blah blah blah. And people did lose money. To be fair, there were people who lost money, but that's what we want to discuss: the people who lost money, and also people who made money. Because for me personally, I saw this crash as an opportunity. I welcomed it. I actually made a video called "Is FUD good for the cryptocurrency market?" And in that video, I discussed whether FUD actually just provides buying opportunities for investors and traders, and was actually needed because it just seems like everyone was just buying, and it was very hard to find a good opportunity. And it made the charts look very unhealthy. That's why you get these sharp drops, because of these sharp rises. Yeah.
But I think you, if I'm right in saying that, the cryptocurrency market is very volatile. So we expect, drops randomly, and, for the market to go crazy and build up to a really high. But this is like a crash that happens almost periodically, so every year, which I think is quite interesting. Also, I'd say that, these big drops is actually like a bit of a yin and yang effect, sorry, because, the market gets boosted so much, all these new people coming in, newcomers, and a lot of people investing because they feel like they're going to make money, and it boosts up the market so high that you can make a lot of profit. But then if you are again a newcomer coming in at the highs, you're going to say to yourself, I'm not getting involved. You might look at it and say, I can't get involved. You get that FOMO and everything else. And I guess these crashes do actually offer opportunity for you to then get involved and have your entry point at that stage.
At the same time, a lot of new people come into it and they don't really look at the market like, oh, it's at an all-time high, I don't want to get involved. They see it as, it's at an all-time high, where do I get involved? Like, how do I get involved? I get so many more messages on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere, people asking me how to get involved when the prices are shooting up than when they're cheap. Like, very few people come to me and say, "Oh, how do I buy? I heard prices are cheap now." Blah blah blah. I think like one person, 1 or 2 people, compared to like 20 daily, that 20 messages daily or 20, 30 messages. I get the prices are surging up. So yeah, no, it's just that's one thing that we want to address. But let's kind of focus on how um it came to be that the market was crashing like that. So basically, I think kicked off with something I think we've spoken about. So like the coin market cap situation where they removed the Korean exchanges from their price average, and it caused people to panic and sell. Then out of nowhere, the a Korean official came out and said that they were looking to ban cryptocurrencies according to the media. Now, in reality, that was taken out of context, and it was just one official who happened to be contradicting everything else the Korean government was saying. But obviously, the media only highlighted that, and it caused the market to crash. People thought, "Oh, cryptocurrencies are gonna dry out in Korea. Does it mean it's gonna dry out everywhere else?" And the same situation happened with China. And after the China FUD, prices increased to highs that no one ever expected. So it's just I was speaking to someone actually earlier on this week, and they were saying that they made the point that every time there's a crash like this and every time there's FUD, all the bad news seems to come out at the same time, even when it's things that have happened or have been said by people far before the actual crash. They only decide to release it at this specific point with other things. Like, for example, Warren Buffett came out and said that he doesn't see himself investing in cryptocurrencies, and because he doesn't understand it and blah blah blah, he thinks it's a bubble that's gonna burst.
Yeah.
But he had said this quite a while ago, but they only decided to push it in the media right when everything else was happening, and it caused a sharp drop. And obviously, if you're a lot of people benefit from that because then they got in at cheap prices, but as well on the other side are people who lost money because they bought at the top.
So it's like a compounded kind of, fear, uncertainty, doubt, getting hit from every potential direction, because I'm pretty sure it was through different types of media outlet, even media outlet that don't normally talk about cryptos at all. They were, put up articles saying, it's the end of cryptos. Has the market fallen? And it was this big kind of, drive in effect to kind of push people out of the market. What I think would be questionable is, why? There's obviously natural reasons why in terms of pushing down prices, etc. But I guess this is not fear, uncertainty, and doubt being pushed by people that actually have bought in to the market, or they're actually people that maybe are holding and they're saying to themselves, in the short term, I'll push it down, but then that'll give us an opportunity to buy even more in, and then we'll slowly push the price up again. I think it really just impacts newbies and people that have no understanding of the market at all, because what you kind of expect is that you'll buy at a high, you lose money, and then you panic, and you say to yourself, well, I can see everything dropping, especially if you've got a large portfolio in many different assets, Ethereum, Litecoin, and you're all over the place, and you kind of see that your overall kind of portfolio has decreased at least by 10% in short space of time. Now, if you put a lot of money into that, that's a lot of money for you that you potentially have lost. And you kind of say to yourself, I need to get out of this. And this is what, these potential people are kind of driving in the market right now, which I guess our consensus on it is try and hold, use your head and kind of say, you know what, so, this coin is actually good. Ethereum, for instance, it's good. It's got longevity. And not to panic too much because of this large push to kind of cause fear.
Well, people who come into the reason this FUD works so well is because people don't come into the markets for the right reasons. The reason, that's one of the things that we're going to speak about, because everyone I know that came into the market for the right reasons, invested at decent price, and price was dropping. Like in our group, most of the time it was just banter. Like we were just laughing about prices crashing and stuff. Partly because we've detached ourselves from the money, and that's what you're supposed to do as an investor. Um, Another part of it is just because it's fun, and another part of it is we know we have our own plans. We haven't, like, I assume the rest of the guys will have an exit strategy. Like, we know what the plan is. We know what we're in for. We know what the market's like. This is just part and parcel of being involved in cryptocurrency. This sort of volatility, this sort of drop. And to be honest, the whole time, even at the lowest part of the drop, my portfolio was still in profit because it was just about finding the right places to buy in the first place. And a lot of people coming into it investing, and they're not doing, they have no clue about technical analysis to begin with. They have no clue about just basic supply and demand in terms of the market and price and price action and things like that. They don't fully understand the technology and the application, and even if they do understand it, they might not believe in it, because if you believed in it, no matter what happens, you won't be worried as long as it's nothing too catastrophic, and which it wasn't really. If you looked at the price, for example, just 3 months ago, Bitcoin was at around 5k or something like that.
Yeah.
And it dropped to 9. And during the crash, it dropped from 13k to 9k, and people wanted to act like that was the most terrible thing. But if you bought just 3 months ago, you'd still be in profit. And what other asset class kind of offers those sorts of opportunities and those sorts of profits? It's just like we said, it's just a FUD, and people are coming with a lack of understanding. I think that's one huge problem in this space, and that's why the market's so easily manipulated, because there's so many newbies, and they're so sensitive to the fear aspect and the greed aspect, which is one of it as well, because it's the same sort of thing that happens on the other side. Like I was saying, all the bad news comes out at the same time, but all the good news happens to come out at the same time as well. Like I wouldn't be surprised when the Lightning Network and the Raiden Network get released. All sorts of other things are going to start getting announced. We've got there's a rating coming out soon where all the coins are going to be rated. We'll see how that affects the market. I have no clue how it's going to affect the market, to be honest. I do know that certain coins are going to be more favored, it's just purely a lack of understanding, and just loads of new people being easily manipulated, and that's why this market can be so easily manipulated.
Yeah, I would assume it's just a lot of get rich quick kind of mentality going on. And if you kind of follow that direction, that path, you can also get broke quick too, depending on how you handle your assets, your money. And I think people just need to think a bit more. If you think about it this way, just like Jeff said, you bought in maybe just after Christmas, where everything went to its low. And it was almost like a bargain sale, and you could have went and bought how many different cryptos for a cheap price. Even if you bought at that stage and then you waited and then you hit the crash the other day, you still be in profit. And pretty much every crypto that did drop in the recent crash bounced back. So really, what are you losing out in that respect? I think it's more of a case if you bought at the highs, and that's where you got your problem. Because you see something increasing, you bought at the high, and then it doesn't continue to increase. Like Ethereum hit its top, and then that's when it dropped, and then you kind of say, oh crap, I bought right at the top, and all that red. Oh damn! Naturally, it's going to depress you. It's going to upset you, and then all you get from everything else in the news or whatever articles you read is the crypto market is gone. It's over. It's at the end of days. Bitcoin is no more, stuff like that. Then you're gonna kind of think to yourself, damn, what have I got myself into? I thought I can just put in some money and I would be rich by next week because Gary down the road did it.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
You know.
the institutions are buying up the coins, and you're here selling your coins for a loss, and they're buying them back off of you, and they're going to profit, get up to the top, and someone who's dumb would buy again at the top again, and the whole thing will happen to them all over again. Like, the issue is partly to do with, like we said, lack of education. Like, people aren't informing themselves, and getting involved in that into an asset they don't really understand. Another thing is patience. Patience when it comes to investing and trading, or even running a business. Patience is one of the most important tools you need, because things you're not in control of this. You can't control how the market moves unless you're a whale or an institution. You have no control over or how these markets move. So you have to wait for the market. People weren't willing to wait for things to drop for them to get in, because the FOMO got them. One thing that Warren Buffett's actually said, which is something that I always adhere to, and he was referring to the stock market. He said the stock market is just a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient, and it's the same really with any asset class, with the cryptocurrency market, with the forex market. Even the property market, sometimes you have to wait, and sometimes you wait and wait, and price will never get to where you want it to get, but that's fine, because there's other opportunities. Like, you don't just dwell on one and just miss out. There will be other opportunities that come along. For example, if you wanted to get in at a certain price and price never got there and it went up, then you reanalyze and you find another area or another low perhaps, where you can get in, or you just completely forget that asset or that coin and move on to another one and see if you can get in on that. It's not the end of the world. Like, this market has so many opportunities, but people get so fixed on just honing in on one specific coin or one specific asset, and they really want to get it. For example, I think Ripple was like that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to get on Ripple when it was at the top, especially because they were hearing more and more about it in the news. Obviously, it's a bank coin. That's what they're calling it. So it's going to get pushed, and it's making good partnerships. It's very fast. It's got good tech. So obviously, it's a good coin with a lot of good backing, good marketing. So people are going to hear about it, but just because people are hearing about it doesn't mean you just jump on the wave. Like, you have to analyze it properly. But that's what a lot of people did. They jumped on the wave. They jumped on it late, and then it crashed quite a lot. Ripple was one of the coins that got hit pretty hard. So if only they waited, then they would have had another opportunity, and then it would have bounced back up like it has been doing. Like, it's been bouncing back up, and long term, definitely Ripple has a lot of potential. I believe that it's probably going to get rated highly on this new rating thing. If it might be number 1 or number 2, definitely 100% it'll be top 5. But it kind of deserves to be up there at the moment, because what they're doing, they have good partnerships. It has a good use case, and that's what we need. Like, technology is about being able to be used. If people can use it, again, that's fair enough. Of course, it's centralized, and the owners own a lot of coins, so you have to be wary of that, because they could dump it on you at the drop of a hat. But they have a lot of potential. For example, Ripple. The same person I was talking to before about the FUD situation. He was saying, well, Ripple can go to other companies, and like Facebook, and be like, look, they're the only coin, because they're a company and they hold coins. They could go to a company and be like, all right, we can give you this amount of Ripple if you start using Ripple on your platform. And who's going to say no to free money, really? And I'm sure those companies could take on Ripple, but they could also take on other cryptocurrencies as well. And he gave the example of Facebook. If you go to Facebook and give that deal with them, eventually, because they own WhatsApp could be upgraded and integrated and put onto the blockchain. You'd be able to send coins via WhatsApp. Eventually, that could be your plan. And that'd be great for the cryptocurrency market as a whole. But in this specific instance, we're talking about Ripple, and so yeah, that kind of has potential there. But this isn't financial advice, by the way, so don't just go and buy Ripple because I'm saying all this. Like, go do your own research and stuff like that. But yeah, no, this is it's a situation where people need to go out there and do their research and be patient. Yeah. And otherwise you're gonna get hurt in this market. The market is has no remorse. It doesn't care whether you lose money. It doesn't care if you banked your whole family life savings on this. Like, it will wipe you out at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I think it's just the way that people kind of view the cryptocurrency market and how it's sold by the media, by normal people as well. Like, if you talk to a bunch of different people, you'll find that they all have different views on a cryptocurrency market. Like, I was talking to a guy the other day, and as soon as I brought up like Coinbase, he was like, "Oh, Courtney's trading cryptos," and it was just like, okay, cool, yeah, I am, but it's like, what does that mean to you? And when I kind of got into that conversation with him, he was just like, well, I used to work with someone, they, put in 15K, now they're a millionaire, and he almost assumed that's what I was attempting to do. Without knowing, what I know about cryptos, what, I envision for myself. And I think that's one key thing. And then another couple of people were talking about is like, oh, I put some money in, should I keep it held? I've got money in Bitcoin, what should I do? And, again, I don't give out financial advice, but I was just like, you got to know about the coin. He was really thinking about pulling out, and he has a substantial amount of Bitcoin. I was like, maybe not the best time to pull out, but then it's up to you, because my advice would be maybe hold. You know what's coming down the line, like Lightning Network and stuff like that. You could profit quite decently. But then again, it could drop, and then what, you're gonna take advice from me? So it's like, you got to know for yourself. What do I want out of this? What do I want to gain out of this? When should I exit? When should I enter? How should I play with this market, and how should I benefit? And sometimes it won't go to plan. Sometimes it won't. But, what really will go wrong if you follow yourself and you've got your own knowledge? Like, you can only blame the fact that, unfortunately, you didn't know enough or whatever have you. But if you just blame, I tried to follow the bandwagon on Bitcoin, and, I saw it going up, and I thought it would definitely keep going up. No, you got to kind of follow your own mind, get your own knowledge, and kind of use that as the basis of how you invest. We always like to compare the cryptocurrency market to the dot-com boom, but similarly to how that worked, yeah, you had like Microsoft and etc. being like the big pushers of it, yeah, and they, if you invested in them, you'd be doing really, really well for yourself. But, there were so many other companies that most likely did have a great idea that, did come out and were quite good. And then on the same hand, you had a number of companies that were just trying to, feed off of it. And a lot of people just jumped in because 5 guys over there were making loads of money. I want to jump on the bandwagon. And it's the same thing that's happening now. You got to think of this as an investment in like a company. And you got to look at them. How good are they? What am I going to be able to benefit out of this company if they do well? Like, those types of things is stuff that you should go through your head. Not just, the coin looks really high right now. This guy over here was making loads of money. I most likely could make some money too. Maybe put some money in there now. You got to think about it. And it's that what we're trying to deliver to people, in effect. That's kind of thought process of thinking about it, looking into it, and trying to understand what you're getting yourself involved in.
It's like, sometimes when I speak to people about looking into a cryptocurrency, what I do to look into a cryptocurrency, and they want to get into a cryptocurrency, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. What's the white paper saying? They're like, what? And then they said, oh, okay, like, what's the use case? Like, what kind of token is it? What's the monetary policy on the token? They're like, it's going up. It's going up. I'm just like, okay, all right. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, oh, okay, fine. Have a look at the white paper. I give them like the spiel on like what they should look into, and then from there on, it's up to them whether they look into it before they invest or they just go through it and then invest. Personally, like Courtney's already mentioned, looking into everything, and that's what you should do. But it's not just as simple as like going onto the the white paper and just looking at it. What I do personally, I read. I try to read. This is the reason why I'm not just investing in every coin, or you never hear me talking about and like 5 new coins every week, because I actually take my time with the coins. That's why when most people ask me, "Oh, have you heard of this coin? Have you looked into this coin?" I'm like, "No, I haven't yet." Like, because I look at the white paper, and then I read it again twice. I take down some notes, and then I take down some notes on like other factors, and I really break it down, and then I kind of just make some sort of, I value it in my head in terms of my score. I look at the chart, do the technical analysis, see if there's any buying opportunities, and then I kind of make my choice. Um, I feel like not a lot of people really do that, because they feel like it's, it's FOMO. They think they're gonna miss out on a buying opportunity and stuff, and that's comes back to the patience issue and stuff like that. Um, but you know what? It's totally up to you how you invest at the end of the day. Like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I am missing out on opportunities. And you know what? I have missed out on some coins because I'm taking my time. But the coins that I am invested in, I'm doing okay. Like, if the market crashes again by 50%, I'm fine. Like, so you got to find what works for you, really. In everything, like even in trading any asset, you've got to have a plan. You've got to look into everything. You got to even just write things down. Like with forex, what you're, well, not really taught to do, but what is advisable to do is write down your strategy, write down every trade, keep a trade journal, sometimes even write down how you were feeling at the time you made the trade, how you were feeling at the time you closed the trade. Then you can track your own psychology, you can track your own emotions, and it allows you to analyze way more and analyze the situation, and you'll find that your trading gets a lot better.
And I think, again, we're not financial advisors, but, I don't really believe we're trying to even distribute kind of really financial advice. It's more of a case of we're just concerned about people in the space. We love blockchain technology and technologies that have, adapted themselves around it. And, the more that we can put that out, the better. The more that the community can grow, the better. And, the main way that the community can grow is actually from them seeing some benefit. That benefit is the monetary value of the coins and stuff like that. But also the tech, I don't know, me personally, the reason why I can get into the space so easily, it's not necessarily to profit, if I'm honest with you. It's not necessarily to actually, put some money in at the low and go, oh yeah, we got a big percentage gain. Like, that is a great side of it. But to be honest with you, it's more about learning about this technology that, in fact, could take over the world. It could, put itself across every single company and all the rest of it. We've already had like our podcast last year about the expansion of blockchain tech in companies and stuff like that. So that's what I'm really excited about. And I think, yeah, if you can on the side of that gain from it, go ahead, like, beautiful. But for me personally, the reason why I like to read a white paper is because I want to see what the hell this tech's gonna do and how that could change my day-to-day living. Because something like IOTA, which we like to bang on about, it can change so much for us. It can make life actually easier for us. Our transactions much faster. And that's the world we're living in. That's where we're going. The Internet of Things. That's this day and age. It's not something that's here right now, but it's what we're moving toward. I think a lot of people don't really understand tech and the way tech works. But normally they have tech, 5 years ahead of us, 10 years ahead of us today, but they're just working on it slowly. I believe blockchain technology is actually the part of that.
Even you were saying that Internet of Things isn't actually here, and you're right. It's not here in the mainstream, but it's slowly finding its way into people's homes. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, if you're in the UK, you've probably seen the advert for a company called Hive, where you can basically control your heating from an app on your phone. Or there's like there's other things like even with Amazon's what's that thing called again?
Alexa.
Yeah, the Alexa thing. I forgot what it's called, to be honest, but yeah, that thing, that kind of you can integrate that into so much other devices into your house, and so slowly you're gonna get machine to machine communication and things like that, and yeah, it's just another form of tech that's going forward. So and if something, well, like IOTA or and there's other things coming out that integrate that, you're gonna want to look into it because that could be in your home one day, you know. But that's mainly for like tech heads, I suppose, because we got like on the other side is that not everybody coming into this space is going to be a tech head, and that's fine. They might just come into it because they want to make profit, and that's fine. But if they're coming into it and they want to make profit, you still have to be smart. You still have to think about it, and you still have to look into the tech. So there's that, you know, because I think the problem as well is a lot of people come into the market, they've not looked into anything, and they've just slapped some money on a trade or on a crypto, and all of a sudden they made some money, and now they think that they're Warren Buffett or Wolf of Wall Street, even though he wasn't an investor, but you know what I mean. Um, it's just one of those things where people are getting a bit carried away, and you can't blame them. It's an exciting space. Like, I love it. Like, I love talking about this stuff every day. I love being involved. I want to be involved more. I want to be involved in so many other ways. I want to absorb as much information as I can to do with this. But it doesn't mean I'm going to rush into anything. And I think that is the best way to go. But you know, humans will be humans. You know, you've got to. Not that I'm not human, by the way. I am human.
We have said in prior podcasts that Jeffrey's a human blockchain, so that's debatable.
I'm still trying to figure out how that works, but you know, apparently, but yeah, no, yeah, no, it's exciting space. Like, I love it. I'm always actively trying to find more ways to be involved. I'm always actively trying to find more ways to learn more efficiently about it and yeah, just look up really cool things. Like, I've recently made a video about the decentralized ledger to ledger exchange, which is another cool use case. There's use cases coming out and protocols coming out every day that are just really, really cool. Even if you're not a tech head, you know, I think everybody can appreciate something really cool, a really cool device or a really cool technology, because it's something that makes our lives easier, like Courtney was saying, and that's what technology's for, to make our lives easier.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody can benefit in some shape or form by just knowing about the different use cases for the different things that are coming out. Some things that you can use today, you know, some things that will apply to your life from today. And I think just get out there and get the knowledge. I think maybe even us, we kind of do bang on about like the main ones in terms of coins, the main ICOs. And you know, potentially what we need to do is actually give a bit more reviews in the future about different ones, good or bad. We'll get back onto that this year, but you know, I think the focus is on those ones. Even with this new rating system coming out, I think that will also put, you know, focus again on the big main players, where there are so many different ICOs, but you know, there's always a yin and yang effect again. You know, you've got the good ICOs that we should focus on, then we've got the bad ones and some of the small caps that are coming out that are not so great. So you always got to be a bit careful, but it doesn't hurt, to have more knowledge.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. It doesn't hurt at all. It hurts to have less, to be honest, in my opinion. And speaking of that rating system, I think if that rating system is going to bring anything to the table, it's going to bring volatility. Either it's going to send some coins crashing down and some coins crashing up. But like Michael Jr. said in the group, if you guys are in the group chat that we have, it's going to take money out of the lower rated coins and put them into the higher rated coins, initially at least anyway. Yeah, so we'll see. You can kind of have an idea of which coins will be highly rated.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're gonna put Bitcoin as a highly rated coin. I'm not sure, because technically, if you look at the tech, you know, but it's still, you know, the granddaddy of cryptocurrencies. So we'll see.
I guess it depends on what their parameters are. You know, most likely if we had like a rating system, it would be on tech, with a balance of, you know, what the worth really is in terms of, you know, real value worth for the community. So it just depends on that, to be honest with you. If you kind of wanted to base it on centralization, decentralization, it will flip the scales again. So it's all debatable.
Yeah, it does depend on what the parameters are. You're right. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. It's supposed to be coming out in this coming week. So the week this podcast is released. We'll see. But yeah, as for the crash, it seems like prices have bounced up quite a bit. There were a lot of buying opportunities. I bought during the crash personally. Um, Not too much, not too many coins. Just kind of built on the coins that I already have. So not anything new. Um, but yeah, it was exciting. I kind of was excited, and I don't know. Do you guys think? I don't know. I'll ask you, Courtney. Do you think it was kind of wrong for us to be like our group to be, I don't know, laughing and stuff during the crash because the other side there were loads of people losing money because we were laughing because it's exciting and we were seeing people panic and it was kind of funny. There were loads and loads of memes like about the crash which were coming out and they were hilarious. But I don't know. I don't know. There was other people who were actually really upset.
I think from a standpoint, if you go high level and kind of look at it this way, it would look bad. But, you know, I don't feel like the group will be laughing at people or individuals in a sense of, haha, you did crap, you know, I don't care about you. I think it's more of laughing at the attitude behind it, where it's like I just have this picture in my head of a room of stock traders like running around with their arms flailing in the air because of the crash. Like, I think people need to relax. You need to kind of be focused on what you're trying to gain and use a bit of our advice, not the financial advice bit. We're not financial advisors, but use the advice in terms of just looking into things a bit more and gaining that understanding. And I think where you see people not doing that, but then they're panicking, it is a bit funny. You gotta appreciate that. That is a bit hilarious. But at the same stead, as I say, I don't feel like anybody was laughing at that in particular. I think even when I saw the crash and I remember finishing work and I was like, yo, Jeff, that sexy volatility. And it was just like, because, it's expected. I looked at my portfolio. I haven't got anything crazy going on, but I just was like, yeah, I'm still in profit. It doesn't even matter. And I think for a lot of people that, kind of do look into things and kind of do buy in at the right place for them, they will really think, I've either lost a little bit or marginally, or I've actually just lost some profit, and it's not too bad for them.
You know what, as well? One thing I don't feel bad about laughing about at all is the whole BitConnect situation. So if you don't know about BitConnect, it's a Ponzi scheme. It was a very obvious Ponzi scheme. Anytime I tweeted about it or made a joke about it on Instagram or Twitter, I was attacked by these BitConnect users, and they'd come out and defend it and be like, blah, 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 BitConnect's still going to be here next year, we'll see where you are, blah, blah, blah. And now BitConnect is shut down their lending system and people have lost out on loads of money. And I don't feel bad. Maybe I'm a bit of a savage for that, but I don't feel bad at all because it was very obvious. You could have done your research. There were warning signs everywhere. There were so many articles about why it's a Ponzi scheme. Apart from it just being obviously a Ponzi scheme, there were so many articles. It was getting shut down in several states in the US, and it was getting shut down or blocked, and they were getting fined in so many areas. No one knew who owns it. No one knows to this day who runs it. It was being pushed by stupid YouTubers that clearly didn't know what they were talking about and clearly don't care about their subscribers. And people were willing to defend it no matter what. Like, they came out, and there are people still defending it to this day after it's wiped out so many people's funds. It's funny because it's stupid, and you're either gonna laugh or cry, to be honest, at this situation. And I'm not gonna cry for them, so I'm gonna laugh. It's upsetting at the same time, though, because it's upsetting that people would be so silly, and FOMO would take such a grasp on people to the point where they take it personally when you attack this scheme. Like, I'm not even talking to you. Like, I'm posting a tweet, yeah, and I put hashtag BitConnect, and you've clicked on hashtag BitConnect, and you've gone through the tweets looking for people who are attacking it just so you can go and defend it. And to be honest, those people were probably people who were wanting to push the referral, so they didn't want anyone saying anything negative about it because they wanted to get more people on so they could make more money. But yeah, no, it was like a Ponzi scheme slash pyramid scheme sort of thing. It was very, very obvious. Probably one of the most obvious I've ever seen. Um, yeah, and it's sad that people have lost money to it, but it's funny at the same time. So yeah,
Well, a bit savage, bit just a bit, but then you're a blockchain. I think I don't know. I think fanboyism is never good. You know, there's not much in terms of things in life that I'll be such a fanboy that I would pretty much put my life on it, or I would kind of jump into it like Assassin's Creed. When you jump like an eagle. I'm a bit more safe in that sense. I think people just need to relax. You don't have to defend things and get so angry and irate. I guess they were because it might have been hitting their pocket because they couldn't get more people on and that type of thing. But again, just relax. Like especially if you're ripping someone off. If you're ripping someone off, potentially you shouldn't be that annoyed about them not getting ripped off. Like, come on, have some heart. Like, but yeah, I think I've been in a room with somebody talking about a pyramid scheme in effect, and I remember just the users around me literally being on this hype. And it was like a cult. It's like, yeah, money, yeah, money. And I was the only one in the room. I swear my life. The only one in the room looking left and right like, this is so dodgy. Like, this doesn't make no sense to me.
it's like a cult.
Yeah. And like, I was like, I need to get out. Like, that's what I was thinking in my head. I need to get out. Because it's not like I was online. I was in the room with them. So I was like, I need to get out, yeah. Just so even though the people I went with were quite cool, I was like, this is a bit dodgy. What about this? But no, you're wrong, Courtney. Yeah, you're wrong. You can make so much money out of this. I was like, okay, all right, you stay. I'm just gonna go. Like, I'll be back. And I literally got out of there because, as I say, people can get so irate and so angry, and then you should just relax. Like, if you're gonna rip somebody off, do it quietly, do it a bit more chill. But I guess you can't do that if you're doing some sort of Ponzi scheme, whatever have you. Anyway, you need to be as loud as possible, promoting it as much as you can, and pushing it out to people so more people get involved, so you can rip them all off. And again, this is what seems to have happened here. So it is sad. I hate these types of things. Like, I would try to get anybody I can out of it or away from it. But when people see money and they see the dollar signs or the pound signs in their eyes, a bit like those cartoons from Looney Tunes, you kind of just have to leave them and make them learn for themselves. And I think this is just another example of that. People just need to learn from themselves. That there are things out there to rip you off, and if you don't want to take the advice, then boy.
Yeah, I think Courtney's right. He summed it up perfectly. Like, at the end of the day, this whole saga is just one big learning experience or learning opportunity, and you can either learn from it or have the same things happen to you again until you learn. Yeah, and that's really it. You can always learn. There's always situations to learn from, but this one is a big learning one. And I think even the people that were at a loss for a few days and they were looking at their portfolio, it was in the red. That was a big, especially people who are new to trading and investing. Like, if you were a seasoned trader, you've seen like your funds in the red several times. The market is always dominating you, and you have to be patient. You have to be strong. You have to be strong-willed. You can't give in to impatience and fear or greed. This was a good learning. I think it taught a lot of people some good lessons. But yeah, I think that's it for this podcast. I think we've covered everything thoroughly, I believe. But yeah, if you guys have any contributions, or you have anything to say about the crash or anything we've spoken about, please leave a comment. This podcast was really good. It was really good. It's better than any other podcast we've had.
I can't lie. I've not had a better podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, my
This is
goodness.
probably the best podcast. I wonder what the difference is between this podcast and the other podcast where Andy's in it. Yeah. Oh, that's the difference. Andy's in it. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
We are though, like, actually interviewing for another host. So if you guys want to join, please just comment down below.
Leave a comment.
That's me out though. Take care, guys.
See ya.